Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at headlines from our city, from our state, from our country. We take a look at your comments, your questions, your ideas, your suggestions on how to have a more connected, more fulfilling life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. Today is November 29th, and as always, it is a pleasure to get together with you and read your comments and read your good mornings. Hello, Gina. Long time no see. I hope you're enjoying yourself in the UK. And all of you, it's always great to read your good mornings. As always, if this is the first time that you join us and you wish to let us know, you can write the word new in your comment and we'll be so very happy to give you a proper welcome. Also, if you have any particular questions that are good and important and meaningful and all that good stuff, it helps a great deal if you add the letter Q at the beginning of your comment. And that way we'll be so very happy to respond to them during the broadcast. If we somehow missed something, we'll be happy to answer after the broadcast is over. And today we have all kinds of interesting news. As always, we have a couple of housekeeping things that we wish to talk about. We need to talk about the snafu of the cultural ambassador key of the city, fiasco, and a couple of other interesting tidbits. So we might as well get started and get the show on the road. Okay, so Eddie Reynoso received the keys to the city and became ambassador to Puerto Vallarta due to his achievements as a boxing trainer and particularly in preparing Canelo Alvarez to become the award-winning boxing champion he has become. But what happened to Canelo Alvarez? Well, the original announcement or proposal, as the mayor brought it to the city council, was that both of them would receive the keys to the city and become ambassadors. We talked about this a couple of days ago. I may not have mentioned the name of Eddie Reynoso because I figured, well, who is Eddie Reynoso? He must be very well known among boxers, but he's not the big name here, if you know what I mean. The big name was Canelo Alvarez, and we talked about how past ambassadors such as Alejandro Fernandez did a questionable job in their responsibilities of being an ambassador to the city. So, where was Canelo Alvarez? Well, as it turns out, according to this report, Canelo Alvarez turned down the keys to the city and instead chose to remain in Guadalajara, where he was having lunch with Governor Alfaro. And this was portrayed negatively by local press. Local press said that Canelo Alvarez you know, turn down our city. Um, One of our council people said, "Our beloved city is not to be improvised with." Um, but I am left wondering. First of all, if the guy did not want to be an ambassador for the city, who wants a city ambassador that does not want to be the ambassador to the city? And then this whole business of he turned the city down. My hunch tells me that this is something that our mayor just pulled out of a hat. I mean, if you're going to assign an ambassador to the city, and this is strictly my opinion, you build a relationship with that person through time. You make that person become invested in what they're supposed to be representing. And even though Canelo Alvarez, the boxer, has been here a number of times. I mean, he's always here, going to the clubs, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, we've never seen Canelo Alvarez be very affiliated or closely affiliated with the city. So, would I be quick to judge the boxer for not accepting the keys? Absolutely not. Would I be quick to wonder if this was a thought out maneuver by our mayor, planned with months of anticipation? I don't think so either. And speaking of improvisations, once again, there will be no processions. So there you have it. At least not today, not this week. Tomorrow, they might change their mind again, but there are no processions as we have been mentioning. Also, Mexico steps back. This is bad news. Mexico steps back as the federal COVID-19 stoplight indicator shows four northern states that have returned to the yellow. These would be Baja California Norte, Baja California Sur, Sonora, Chihuahua, and Coahuila. The federal government has confirmed that there are indications that another COVID-19 wave is brewing. So kindly continue to keep your precautions and follow the health mandates. Please. Let's see what else. Oh, this is interesting. We told you that when questioned about it, Governor Alfaro stated that last year's murder of former Jalisco Governor Aristoteles Sandoval had been solved and that they were only waiting to apprehend the culprit. But now Governor Alfaro has been contradicted by his own state attorney, Gerardo Octavio Solis, who claims the case is still open. There is a theory of who did it, but the case is definitely not solved. Why am I not surprised? Two massive events took place this weekend with proper authorization, or maybe not so proper. Apparently, one of them did not follow the guidelines. The one that did was the rapper Santa Fe and his performance at the Lienzo Charro. When municipal authorities arrived, the organizer of the concert did not hesitate to follow proper guidelines and limit attendance to 800 people, as was stipulated by the permit. Good for them. The second event was organized by Mantamar at Los Muertos Beach, and when authorities arrived, they realized that the organizers were not following sanitary guidelines, the permits were not in order, and the event was generating more noise than that allowed in that particular area, so the event was shut down. Ni modo. If you play by the rules, it's a good thing. If you don't play by the rules, shit happens. And speaking of shit happening, let us take a look at the weather to hope that there's no shit happening this week in Puerto Vallarta. Snarky weather is really on top of things when it says when they start naming COVID variants after Transformers, you're pretty much screwed. Well, what can I say? I can say that we are enjoying 27 degrees, feels like 28. Humidity is at 56%. And for Fahrenheit fans, please know that we are now enjoying a temperature of 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I just saw one of you use one of my favorite phrases, but I'll get to that, Julie. I'll get to that. Our forecast for today: humid and mostly cloudy through the day with a high temperature of 30, low temperature of 21. Tomorrow, Tuesday, it'll be humid and mostly cloudy through the day with a high temperature of 31, low temperature of 21. and Wednesday. It will be humid through the day with a high temperature of 31, low temperature of 20. And that is definitely a good weather forecast to look forward to. And now let's see what else is. Luna, what's next? Help me. Okay. Oh, this is important. This is important. I wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping, if I may. I received this. Let me put it on the screen. I received this from a wonderful supporter and viewer. It says, "I just received a notice that my membership is renewing. I did not authorize automatic renewals. Thank you." Okay, so I'm happy to clarify that in case this is an issue for other folks. Um, when you sign up as a member, you give Buy Me a Coffee authorization to renew the membership automatically until you decide to cancel the membership. I now know through confirmation that some of you have sent me, and also because I inquired, that coffee and that Buy Me a Coffee sends reminders to subscribers when they are going to be renewed. It is quite possible that those announcements get sent to your spam folder, but apparently, Buy Me a Coffee does send you these reminders, so you authorize automatic renewals when you join. That's just the way it works, and most services work that way. So if you wish to continue being a supporter, you have to do nothing. All you have to do is continue to enjoy what we produce. If you need to cancel your membership, then you need to go into Buy Me a Coffee before you get charged. If you have gotten charged and you had decided you wanted not to get charged anymore, then you need to submit a dispute with PayPal. And it all gets very, very cumbersome, not impossible, but it just gets cumbersome. So I just wanted to clarify that. If anybody ever has questions about how the membership works or how we operate and this, that, and the other, we have a great frequently asked questions document that appears at the top of our chat every single day. And if not, we are happy to answer questions when they arise. How was that? Yay. So now more headlines. This one made me laugh because it has a little bit of a glitch. It's a funny blooper. This article claims that 20 years ago, yesterday in 1991, our main thruway was inaugurated as Francisco Medina Asensio by then President of Mexico, Carlos Salinas de Gortari. But the snag is that this happened 30 years ago, not 20. Even so, for a city of our size, I find it hard to believe that only 30 years ago there was no main axis avenue as we know it today. And for that matter, when I was putting together our walk to Pitillal the other day, I never stopped thinking about the fact that there are people among friends that remember when the road to Pitillal was just a dirt road, and there was no businesses along Francisco Villa. I mean, in fact, Francisco Villa didn't even exist as an avenue. So it is amazing to think that our city has changed so much in the past few years. Let's see. I have one final news item that I wish to share with you. It's somewhat unrelated, but it's just a factoid that I wanted to share. Merriam-Webster has designated the word vaccine as the word of the year. And are we surprised? Not at all. According to the dictionary people, the word saw a 601% increase in lookups this year over last year and had continual spikes of attention through the year. Merriam-Webster added 455 new words to the dictionary in October, including the word horchata. And I'm certainly hoping that you know what horchata means. If you don't, horchata is in Mexico a beautiful, yummy, refreshing, and delicious rice-based beverage. Other seeds are often used in other parts of Latin America and Spain, where the beverage came from. If you haven't tried horchata, I strongly recommend you do. Horchata can be frequently found at taco places, and particularly at tacos al pastor places. And speaking of tacos, We published a short video yesterday to promote Taco Tuesday tomorrow. I hope you watched it, and I hope you will join us tomorrow in the broadcast as we discuss this amazing restaurant in Pitillal that I had been wanting to visit, and I was finally able to visit. Um, One final thing, and this is just I'm reacting as a fan to this headline from Mexico saying that Stephen Sondheim passed away at 91 years of age, and he is described as a legend of musical comedy of the United States. And I saw several headlines calling Sondheim a legend of musical comedy, and it is sad that culturally speaking, in Mexico, I don't know of other countries, in Mexico, there's, they still call it musical comedy. I mean, I know that there's a lot of musicals that are funny, but I mean, Sondheim was not a comedian and his musicals were not comedies, but that's just little me. In any event, let us very quickly rewind to your comments. Oh, I have a question to ask. Maybe you have a comment about this or not. I was quite your appreciation for the PTL day was not was not missed. And I noticed that many of you reacted favorably to the fact that I showed you still photos instead of video, which we usually do video when we do Walking Wednesdays. We do video with still photos, but this time around we only did still photos. And I wonder if you have a preference one way or another, if you like the still photo show and tell approach better than the video with occasional stills better. The reason I ask is because I can do either, but there is a different methodology and workflow and so forth and so on. And ultimately, I want to provide you with the most useful content, or the content that allows you to generate most connections. So I look forward to your comments. Meanwhile, I'm going to start looking through your good mornings. Oh, yes, I got a lot of comments on my new profile pic. What can I say? The old profile pic was like ages ago and many, many pounds less, many kilos less. So it was time to do an update. Um, Thank you very much for that. Let's see. Ooh, Raymond is joining us from Conchas Squeenas. Lovely. Um, oh, wow. What a great name. And I'm going to mess it up, but I'm hoping that you are. See, I don't know if you are. No, I'm not going to mess it up, but you have a beautiful name. And thank you for saying hello from La Cruz and Guanacaxtle. Wow. What a great name. Love it. Mm, 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 mm. Doody doo 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 doo. New! Oh my goodness, new! Brian! Hello, Brian! I've been lurking on YouTube. First opportunity to join the live broadcast. That is so awesome. The only difference really between YouTube and here is that here you get to connect with this wonderful community that I'm privileged to be part of. You get to ask questions and you get to interact with other people. Which reminds me, I received a note from a viewer that I forgot to prepare as part of what I was showing you today. A viewer from Versalles asked me, well, what is the schedule or the route that the bread, el panadero con el panadero con el pan, which way does he go? And I said to this viewer, I don't know the exact route. All I know is that every now and then I start hearing the song, and I rush really quickly with my pesos in my pocket to see if I can catch the bread guy. But honestly, I don't know if he follows a special route or a set of days. We're talking about the neighborhood of Versalles. If anybody knows this information, kindly share it so that we can all benefit from it. Moving right along. Let's see what else we have. Talk about being snubbed. This came from Dave. I'm sure this has to do with a boxer. Again, maybe as you put it quite eloquently later on, Dave, maybe this is something that was just pulled out of a hat or somewhere else. Ultimately, and Javier also comments, I think the mayor jumped the gun. Ultimately, we, as I said before, we don't want somebody representing our city that does not want to represent our city, plain and simple. Would I hold it against a boxer? No, not at all. Um, Tony comments, Buenos dias, Paco. Wonderful tribute to Stephen Sondheim yesterday on Sunday morning, CBS. I didn't know he was gay and that he never had children. I was brought up on Broadway musicals. He participated in many. Tony, I had my Day of the Dead celebration for Stephen Sondheim yesterday at home. Last night, I watched an irresponsible amount of videos of tributes done for him, and I wept, and I wept, and I wept. He is a major loss. I will be more than happy to check out the Sunday morning at CBS recommendation. And I hope you guys got a kick out of watching Christine Baranski, Audra McDonald, and Meryl Streep singing Ladies Who Lunch. It was such an interesting memory of how we used to do live broadcasts when the pandemic started. Let's see. Puri puri boom boom boom. Good Lord, good Lord. Let's see. La da 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 da. Oh, interesting. Santa Barbara, California, and Puerto Vallarta are sister cities for many years. We know this. A delegation of about 20 will arrive today for about 10 days. We have been on this trip at least 2 times. Wonderful, with many events, staying south of the Malecon near the pier. Many benefits for Puerto Vallarta, especially through Rotary. Susie, be our correspondent, if you will, and let us know what goes on, because we know of the sisterhood between the cities, but ultimately, unfortunately, a lot of times we just don't learn what comes out of those events or those gatherings. So, any comments, if you're taking this trip, that you wish to share with us, will be very much appreciated. Uh, 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 uh. Let's see. At some point, Julie clutched her pearls after hearing such a shocker. I can only guess what that comment was about. Dory remembers the building of the road. There you go. See, I wish there were more photographs, and I'm sure there are more photographs, Dory, of the evolution of the city that I hope that the new museum will be able to provide us with. Let's see what else we have. Do 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 do. Yummy, lovely horchata at La Madonna. Absolutely. Heather prefers videos with stills. Thank you very much for that. Chris prefers videos. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. This gives me a lot of clarity. Thank you so very much. Okay, cool, groovy. Video with stills, video with stills. Okay, thank you so much. It turned out that, as I explained when we did Pitillal, we were jumping from one place to another, so doing a continuous video would have been a little bit complicated. But I very much appreciate the feedback. Let's see what else. Crazy question without a cue, but that's okay. Please explain the term conchasquinas for me. I'm late to the party. Thank you, Paco. No problem. It so happens that somebody said squee the other day, and I thought, squee, what a fun word. It was a new word to me, and I thought it was really funny, so I went squee, and then apparently I looked it up, or somebody explained, and it is an expression of glee. So, of course, our favorite baker, Raymond, has taken it upon himself to decide that he is actually watching from Conchas Squinas instead of Conchas Chinas. But that's what that amounts to. Nothing major. And no, you are not late to the party. We're happy to fill you in. Let's see what else. Do 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 do. Good question. Javier asks, have you watched Get Back? I love watching the creative process. If you mean the movie, the documentary about the Beatles, I've been watching clips of its creation on YouTube. It is not in theaters yet. I don't even know if it will be in theaters. I am bummed out that Encanto, the new animated movie from Disney, is in theaters locally, but only in Spanish. When it's cartoons or animation, I always like to watch it in the original language and also in Spanish, because a lot of times the jokes are different. But back to your question, I have not watched Get Back. I hope I am able to watch it on a big screen because things like that are so deserving of the big screen. Let's see what else we have. Videos with stills. Okay, I got the message and I will be so happy to do that, particularly this Wednesday. We already announced that this Wednesday we're going to be walking to the Isla Rio Cuale market just to see how things are starting to look like inside the market. What is it looking like for the vendors that are around the market temporarily? And we will take a view to the extent that we can get close of the repairs and the construction of the new bridge just to get a sense as to how things are coming along. And that gives you a number of things that we can look forward to this week here at Coffee and Headlines. I strongly hope that you will come back and join us for any of these days. Tomorrow, as we mentioned previously, we are going to have our Taco Tuesday with this wonderful place, Pitillal. Wednesday, we walk. Thursday, we have no idea what we'll do, but we'll come up with something funky. And Friday, we'll go back to another colonia as we know. So thank you very much for joining us on this start of the week. I hope your time in Puerto Vallarta is wonderful. And if you're starting to pack your bags because you're heading this way for a long time or a short time, I hope your travel is uneventful. Stay kind, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay in touch.